now. Okay, so we're recording, and here we are, smudging. So blessings to you guys. Thank you so much for coming. I'm so excited to do this. I've been prepping for this for the past few days, energetically. Been talking to you guys, guides, been reaching out. And during the call, you're going to see that I'm going to talk to you guys some, and sometimes I'm going to say things to the future people taking this, because there are going to be a lot of people who take it afterward, and I can feel them. And I'm sure you guys can probably feel them too, even though they're not here. But with this whole time space thing and with the internet, it just kind of does not follow.
Yeah.
Is anyone else hearing that feedback?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that me? Let's see. Everyone check your headphone things. Okay, there it is. Okay, it's gone. All right, so let's get comfy. So just get comfortable. Close your eyes. Let your body become really still. Start to deepen your breathing. Doesn't matter if you breathe through your nose or your mouth. Just become really present. Nice, and then feel all your joints start to relax. Let your breath smooth out and relax. Right now, let's set the intention that during this workshop, we are only here. We're gathering in all of our energies that cycle through all of the other things that we think about, that we have to do, relationships, conversations, dramas, worries, fears, hopes, whatever. We're reeling it all in, like reeling in a fishing line, just reeling in all of our little golden threads going out everywhere and using them to come into our own space, into our own auras, so that we can be nourished, so that we can be rejuvenated. And then let's set the strong, strong, strong intention that at the end of this workshop, we will each have gotten exactly what we needed, have gotten more than we asked for, calling in all of our guides, all of our angels, all of our ancestors, all of our spirit family, our star family, and asking that they lead and guide us throughout this process, knowing exactly what we need, knowing exactly what the future holds for each of us, and also that our own higher selves do this. And intending that we each, from these moments on, serve as a beacon of light and as a lighthouse keeper, so that no matter where we go, without expending any extra energy on our part, we serve as anchors of the Golden Age paradigm with harmonious, loving, luminous energy. So continue to breathe deeply, slowly. Take a few more breaths. Every time you breathe in, let your body be nourished. Every time you breathe out, imagining that you're sending out the most loving, pure vibrations that you can muster, feeling just the sweetest, purest, cleanest love come from your heart and shine out of you into the world. Also asking that all of our spirit protectors come in and surround us during this call, all of our angelic protectors, all of our spirit guides that protect us, so that we can do in-depth, open, vulnerable work with our auras and never have a moment of fear. Ooh, there they are. I feel them like an obsidian shield coming in around us. Wow, that's good. Okay. Take a few deep breaths. And now focus on your posture. Take a moment to make sure that your spine is straight. Take a moment to make sure that your shoulders are relaxed down away from your ears, just gently in an attitude of surrendering. Slide your head back so that your ears are in line with your shoulders. Make sure that your abdomen is slightly engaged and that your hips are tucked, so that your pelvis is like a bowl that is holding all of the amazing, creative, life-generating force of your second chakra. Let your spine arise out of that bowl like a strong plant, like a trunk of a tree. And then your head floating on top with no stress, no strain. Just relaxed, perfect, clean, luminous balance. One more time, take a deep breath, generating all the most beautiful energy that you can, inner beauty, and releasing it into the world. And come back here. Okay, great. Thanks, guys. All right, so let's start with Reiki rubs. So rub your hands together, nice and strong. I just came up with this because when I'm in the desert in a couple of weeks, I'm going to, you can get the backs of your hands too. You're just trying to activate your whole palm chakras. When I'm in the desert in a couple of weeks for the festival, I'm teaching a workshop on breast massage for women. And breast massage is one of the most powerful things that you can do as a woman to keep your chi flowing and keep your nourishing going out into the world. And people aren't going to be massaging each other, but they're going to be massaging themselves. But there are certain things that they can do to feel the right kind of love flow. And one of them is Reiki rubs. And that's where I came up with the name for this, because it's how it's not massage and it's not feather light touches. It's something in the middle, and it's how you touch someone when you do Reiki, which is a type of energy healing. Okay, so build up the pressure. Get your hands nice and hot, and then stop. Hold them together. Just touching. You feel that buzz? Okay, now separate them just a hair, barely, so that they're almost touching. And just relax there. Relax there, feel. And then a little farther apart, feel. Relax. Feel the air between your hands. A little bit farther apart. Yeah. Relax. Let that energy keep flowing. You feel how your palms and your fingers are kind of buzzing. Okay, then a little farther apart. Now, gently and slowly, softly, just wiggle your hands in and out a little bit. Do you guys feel that when you press in, it's like a balloon, and when you pull out, it's like glue? That is energy. That is healing life force energy. Bam, right there. And you can play with it. You can when I was in grad school, I lived with my sister, and she is not super open to the stuff all the time, but she's definitely intuitive. When we would drink alcohol, the game that we used to play was that we would make chi balls and toss them across the room to each other. That's the only time she would play it with me. And that's all she ever wanted to do. Whenever she got a little buzz, she's like, let's make energy balls. Like, okay. So, but this is how you do it. So then what you can do over time is you can form these up. If you want to do healing work on someone far away, you can form it up and toss it and imagine it going all the way over across the world to land on the person and bring them this beautiful golden light. Okay, so now that your hands are charged up, start to gently just rub. Imagine that you're rubbing this energy all over yourself. So it's not as hard as you would even put on lotion or something. But it's also not soft enough to tickle you. It's just a little bit of like a light touch, like a light soothing touch. The way that you pet an animal or a small child or a baby that you're soothing, And so as you're doing this, I'm getting chills already as I'm doing it. As you're doing it, work down your front, go down your waist, get your back, get your hips and your legs. This is one of the things that we're also going to do at the end of the call, which is a way that you can scoop off excess energy and a way that you cleanse your body energetically. And it's one of the things that I'm going to teach you. But for now, we're using it as a charge up. Obviously, it has different uses that you can use it. So what we're doing right now is just kind of activating our physical bodies, because the thing about the aura is it's non-physical. And our bodies are the most concentrated piece of our auras, because the way that our bodies form around our spirits, the way that I see it is the way that a pearl forms. So our spirit is the stuff that takes you into this world. And then your body forms in layers and layers around it until it becomes physical. That's why any physical issue that you have can also be traced to emotional stuff, can also be traced to energetic stuff. Often we carry stuff in our bloodlines, in our DNA, because if you get a really hardcore wound in your DNA, it will stick in your DNA and go through your children. And not only that, but if your spirit has always been just a little bit bent out of its correct shape because of that wounding, then your child learns that. Then people around you learn that, because we mirror each other, like it or not, we do. So, okay, now that we've come present and are all here, let's have just some short introductions. I would love to know how you guys are, what you guys are up to. what your life is like, what your intentions for the workshop are. So I'll start. You know me, I'm Karis. I'm doing this workshop because what I want to do is have each of you who take this, and then you guys who take it in the future also, I just want to have a bunch of shining beacons of light everywhere, just fractaling out, spiraling out greater light. Because why not? You know, especially because we're not in an age that we need to proselytize. We're not in an age that we need to go tell everybody else what's going on. We're all in the time of showing through example and shining through example.
Yeah.
So my goal and my agenda in doing this is to provide you with tools you need to shine and be super bright, and also to stay contained. Because if you're even here, I know that you're sensitive, you're highly sensitive, and I'm tired of highly sensitive people, myself included, having it as a handicap. There's no reason we need to do that. We can go out and run it instead, you know, let the world bend to us, because we can feel everything. So obviously, if we feel good and shine that out, then everybody's going to feel good because we can feel their pain. So of all the people who should set the tone for the frequency, it should be the highly sensitives, right? So my goal in this aura workshop is to make your aura a vault that is so strong and locked down that you can walk through anything, doesn't even matter. And anything just bounces off of you or gets transmuted, and everyone who sees you is blessed and enhanced. Okay. So who else wants to go?
Okay. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Zoe. I'm from New Zealand, and I don't know. I was talking to Karis before this. I'm still figuring things out, but from what I know about myself, I do a lot of work to do with mindfulness and time, and going into like wider aspects of time, but also like really going into the very narrow kind of like moment to moment type things. And I write stories that like merge language and ideas and spirituality and science and stuff to try and get people to change their attitudes about this earth and nature and things, like become more attuned and loving and involved in like kind of going into like cycles of time, seasons, stuff like that. So that's kind of what I do. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you. What are your intentions for the workshop? What do you want to get out of it?
Well, yeah, what you were saying about the whole being sensitive and being able to kind of lock down your aura, I've had a lot of times recently where it's been difficult, especially because there's been a lot of people like visiting, family, stuff like that. And so for me, I need to like keep my energy up for like me to even function in the world.
I understand.
Yeah. So, and also I just love your work, honestly. I'm like, oh, it sounds like fun. And I want to meet other people too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best thing about my work. That's the hands down best thing, is that
Yeah.
we link up this way. Yay for the internet. Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Zoe. Thank you for coming. Who'd like to go next?
I guess I'll go. I'm not sure. Can you hear me? Okay. My name's Morgan, and I work at the Angelica Movie Theater in Plano, Texas. And right now they have a couple documentaries there. I really like supporting the art form of documentaries. And at home, I work on different projects, but I like to draw, and I've been wanting to sew more and make stuff like that. But the reason I'm in here is because I've noticed that I really resonate with everything that Karis says in your work. I really love it, and I've noticed that there's connections to things that have happened to me in my life that I can piece different things together. Like, my husband works on electrical stuff, and the other day I realized that I've had a lot of resistance to working on stuff with him. And I remembered that when I was a kid, my mom and sister told me that I put a penny in an electrical socket and that I got shocked. And it's amazing that things can happen that way, that you can remember something, or and that this moment connects to the past and the future. You know, that the future is now, and the past, it all connects to this moment. And that I've also noticed that whenever we live next to a fire station, like about 2 houses down, our neighbor is a fire station, and we sometimes hear right before a siren will go off, we'll kind of, my husband and I will feel
Wow.
like something is being talked about, like something just got called in, and then we'll hear the siren go off, and we'll be like, oh my gosh, we both really felt like that was about to happen. And it's really intense sometimes to feel that way. But right now I'm in the process of potentially moving to another house, and I'm excited about that. But it would be neat to be able to use the information that you're giving to shield myself, and also be aware of my own aura that I'm sharing, because I feel it like in the grocery stores and everything. You know, I don't want to be. Yesterday I was in the grocery store, and I was shopping, and I heard somebody on a phone call that they were having a really intense conversation. It was like I knew that sometimes that might have been me, and then sometimes that's not me, you know. And I want to be aware of how I'm sharing my energy, because I feel it and I share it too.
That makes sense. Thank you. That reminds me of just like a week or two ago, they cut down a bunch of trees. Right after I got back here from New York, I guess, the last trip I was on, they cut down a bunch of trees next door to where I live here, like like a couple blocks worth of trees.
Oh wow.
And I was going to vacuum out my car, and it was right on the other side of these train tracks from where I was vacuuming my car. And I could hear the saws, and then I would see the trees fall, and I would like see faces in the trees as they were falling. And I was just so, just standing there and just like, what can I do? What can I do? Because like all these people who are my friends, like those trees felt like my friends. I'm just seeing them just get like ripped down. And I was just like, there's nothing. And so I'm sitting there racking my brain. I'm like, and I remember I went on this whole little rant. I was like, and the hippies complain so much, but they're still cutting down the trees. I was like, the hippies aren't keeping them from cutting down the trees, complaining doesn't do it. And so I was sitting there, and I remember thinking like, what can I do? I can't stop. I can't go lay in front of the bulldozer. I can't do that. I can't put in something now to make this stop. This is going to happen no matter what I do. And it was a lot of pain. And I just had to eventually came back around to all I can do is love. All I can do is love. All I can do is send love. I can't even intend that those trees necessarily grow back, because maybe it's not best for the world that trees grow right there. Who am I to say? All I can do is send love, send love, send love. And witness. And then after they cut it all down, I waited, I think, a day, and I went and walked the whole thing and cried and gave my tears to the land and took my shoes off and talked. There were trees on their side, and they were like in the process of dying, so like talk to them. And and in order to do that, I had to have a strong aura, because if I was just like wham 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 the whole time and then getting caught up in my own pain, I wouldn't have been able to help. So that reminds me, Morgan, of what you were saying. And so times like that, it's not about blocking it out. It's about letting it all in and then cleaning your aura out. And you let in and clean it and keep cleaning it and keep doing the stuff that we're going to learn. And then it makes a huge difference. Okay, yeah. So Nita, is that the right way to pronounce Nita? Oh, there you are, I think. I can't hear you. I can hear myself. I can hear myself. Let's see. Do you have anything plugged into your device? Oh, I think that's better.
Okay, perfect. Sorry about that. Send doing one of these. So I guess what brought me to the Aura workshop was the fact that I'm very sensitive, like most of you here, or all of you here. I feel everybody's energy, and I think it peaked more because of pregnancy, and I had a baby recently. So I have a 3-month-old. And I just got really sensitive to everybody's feelings and everybody's emotions, and I don't really have the tools to be able to shield myself most of the time. So I find that I'm just a recluse lately. Like, I just want to be indoors, away from people. I don't want to sense anybody's energy. Sometimes even watching like a certain show will make me feel in a way triggered, or just like I soak up people's feelings. And I think it's definitely a good thing that I feel, but at this point it's become more of a hindrance. So um, I really love your work, Karis, and I've followed you for a long time, but I just feel like this is the right time to get some tools to sort of spin my energy into a more positive way, and hold space for my baby as well as myself and my family in our boundaries, so to speak.
When did you start feeling so sensitive? Like, if you were to do the math, if it was during your pregnancy, how long ago, I guess is what I'm asking, how long has it been going on?
I think it's mostly it was right as I got pregnant, but I've had this my whole life. It's not something that is
Just
new.
couldn't ignore it anymore, maybe.
I just couldn't ignore it, and just being attuned to my body during pregnancy made it heightened, I suppose. And I empathize with that story you shared about the trees, because that similar thing happened to me, and I literally was bawling about the trees being cut down.
It hurts.
It hurts a lot, and I still feel like it's like a little graveyard outside, because I was really connected to those trees, um, and my heart really went out when they got cut down. So I really need tools in order to learn how to work as an empathic person in the world. So that's what I'm doing.
Hey, well, thank you for coming. And I'll tell you that as I'm actually, would you mind muting your mic, Anita? Because for some reason there's some feedback coming through. Oh, perfect. Okay. Yeah. And anytime you want to talk, just reach over and unmute it. I would love to know what you have to say. Yeah. So, as you're talking and I'm looking at you, I don't know if you other guys are having this happen too, but I can see your aura. You have a very white layer around your head. Do you guys see that? I don't know. I mean, it also helps that you're on a white background. You know, that makes it easier to see, because then it's like the contrast. But I can see, like, probably going out, I guess, about yay far from you,
Oh,
I just see a
yeah.
white, like, and it
Yeah.
definitely reminds me of the Madonna frequency, like,
Yeah.
because you have a baby, and even, yeah, you're definitely
Mhm.
embodying like that Mother Mary, Mary
That's
Magdalene
so
kind of energy
true.
right now, I think. So thank
Yeah.
you for coming, because the woman is absolutely the spiritual center of the family. Like, there's no question. What do they say? Happy wife, happy life. And so, and it's because it's true. I mean, women, we just naturally we're naturally in tune with the seasons. We're naturally in tune with the moon because of our moon cycles, and all these types of things are just in our pure bodies. So just by virtue of being born woman, we have certain sensitivities that the other gender just doesn't have. So that means that when we're in a family situation, we're the ones, and also in the role of mother, and anytime you're with any person, you always activate those childhood youth things, so you are also mothering your partner to some extent, no matter what. So yeah, it's good that because when I think about a mother with a strong aura, I think I said this in a video in the Goddess Glow group recently. I don't even think I've published it yet, but I every now and then I'll get glimpses of what type of mother that I'm going to be through the eyes of my children. And so it's a really weird, it's like I see a vision of myself, but I'm not me. I'm like removed. And so the most recent thing I saw was like the perspective of holding them and having their face against my shoulder and feeling the energy of what it feels like to be held, because from that perspective I feel giant, you know, because from that perspective you're like a little baby, and to feel that like strength, that like strong, I've got you, nothing can happen to you, it doesn't matter. I'm even getting goosebumps talking about it, and I've never even had a child. So it's that piece of like, we don't have to be big and broad and have a bunch of tools in our hands to have power. That's not real power. You know, real power, I think, is shown in gentleness, because you can choose to be gentle. And real power is shown in authenticity and humility, because if you really have true power, you don't have to go tooting your horn about it all the time. You know, you can just sit and enjoy your life. And so, yeah, one of the things about this workshop is hopefully what I hope to show you guys. And thank you all for introducing yourselves. And also, really quick before I jump in, anyone who's watching this later, take a moment right now to just, you can pause the video if you want, or you can keep it rolling, but just take a moment to introduce your energy to us, because we can feel you. So introduce your energy to us. Get clear in your mind about why you're here. You know, set an intention, because that's going to help channel all the things that you hear into the specific places that you need to receive it in your mind and energy. Yeah. So as I've been practicing these techniques that I'm going to teach you guys, I've been experiencing some interesting things. I did an aura workshop like 4 years ago. So I've done it before, but that was, you know, there have been 3 or 4 years of learning and of expanding my own methods and all this kind of stuff before I've done this one. So I've been trying out the different frequencies that I'm going to teach you, and the different stuff that we're going to talk about. And what I found is, so what happens for me is, it's almost like I have a certain amount of energy, and I'm very effervescent. So I'm kind of like a cup of kombucha or something, you know, like bubble, bubble, bubble. But then sometimes it's just like I run out of it. If I push myself past some frequency, and then I'm like, oh, and not only can I not do all the stuff I need to do, but I can't even like deal. Like I have to like shut myself, like what you're talking about, Nita. I'm a recluse, and I know a lot of people are like, I like to hermit out. I think it's some of the coolest people I know are totally hermity. And what I like to do is hermit out, and then sometimes come out and just shine super, super bright, and then hermit out again, you know, just kind of have that frequency. But the downside of that is that, say something unexpected happens, like, you know, Mercury's going into retrograde for the whole like next month, which reminds me, whenever Mercury's in retrograde, call on Iris. She's the goddess. She is the goddess that is like the female version of what Mercury does. She watches communications and travel and electronics, and she has rainbow wings.
Yeah.
So just imagine those,
Yeah.
those rainbow wings wrapping around you and taking care of you, because she does not go retrograde. So when Mercury is retrograde, you can call on her to watch over you instead, and I definitely will be. But so what ends up happening in my case, the reason that I even have developed this at all, is because when I run out of energy, I'm just out. There's nothing I can do. It feels like there's nothing I can do. I'm just out of commission, like for the rest of that day until the next day, or for the rest of that afternoon, or whatever it is. And so what I found in doing these methods is that when I feel that, like, it's like a wilted flower or like a wilted plant, it's like your energy just like down, you know, and you have to like give yourself something to come back, or just sleep it off, or eat or drink or whatever. It's that after doing these methods that we're about to do, it's like all of that pressure that was wilting me down is just kind of gone. And all of a sudden, I may or may not be raring to go. It depends on what else is going on, but there's not that like wilted feeling anymore. I'm just like, okay, this is cool. This is cool.
Yeah.
And another thing about the aura is that it's your personal space. The aura is your personal space. And we're taught in our world that we're supposed to be sharing all of our chi with everybody. We're taught that if we love someone or we care about someone, we're supposed to be giving them our life force, and then like taking on their issues and weaving it all together in this tangle. And I don't think that that's actually true. I think the better way to think about it, at least now, because who knows, it might have been true at one point, but now what works best is, actually, Zoe, would you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Would you mind setting an alarm to go off a half hour before we're done? Because I just realized that I don't have any clock that I can see. And so we might go on for 5 hours if I'm not careful. Not that I would mind that, but I definitely. Okay, so
what time should I set it?
Well, we're ending at 2:00 Eastern. So you're in Colorado. What time zone are you in?
Colorado Mountain Time, so that's 2 hours like behind.
Yeah, so that would be noon your time. So maybe set it for
Okay.
11:30 and maybe also for 11:50 because
Okay.
then we'll know our time. Okay, thank you. Sorry, that's
No,
something I should
that's
have
all
definitely
good.
done, but Mercury's retrograde. I forgot. I put my phone in the other room. I was like, I don't want any
It's
distractions.
all good.
So, so basically, the idea is the way to think about the aura rather than being some big tangle of a bunch of people's energies. Think about it like red blood cells. You know how blood cells move through your blood, and they each carry their own little job. They each have their own little job, and they take oxygen and drop it, and then they go back and get more. And they don't all, one red blood cell doesn't pass another red blood cell that is now empty of oxygen. Say, here, let me give you my oxygen. It lets it go back and get its own, and it takes its own. And also, if you pop all the red blood cells and they're all one glommy thing together, then it doesn't work at all. So the way to think about it is rather than us all needing to braid together and all be the same thing, we all just hold ourselves clear and clean with beautiful boundaries, and then we can fit together like this intricate masterwork, like a tapestry or like some type of weave that works together rather than being all like stuck and tangled up and having stuff go where it shouldn't go. So a lot of people will say, have asked me, well, aren't we supposed to always be open, and aren't boundaries bad, and da 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 da? And my thought is, well, I mean, it's kind of like the word ego. When people say boundaries, they might mean something that I don't mean. But when I say boundaries, I mean your lines. I mean, we have skin for a reason. There's the inside and an outside. And so when you have a strong, beautiful boundary around your aura, a loving one, a welcoming one, but a strong one, it is actually way more comfortable for everyone around you because they can see you and they can appreciate you. And then if they do something that hurts you or irks you, they'll at least know. It's not going to be like, this is something that a lot of light workers, people who are too nice, people who are too giving do. They don't ever state their boundaries. So then by the time they state them, you've accidentally trodden so much on these boundaries that it's just, they're just super upset and feeling really bad. Whereas if you'd known in the beginning, this is where my boundary is, then, you know, sometimes you trot on a boundary, you're like, I know I'm about to trot on your boundary, but this is something we have to talk about, or something like that. So it's up to us. When I've done all these processes and have a really strong aura as a result, what I feel like is I can sit, like someone could freak the hell out on me. Someone could freak out, be standing there yelling in my face, and I could just sit and observe and just be like, you're really upset. You know, I see that you're really upset, but I wouldn't feel that like, oh my gosh, ow, you know what I mean? And so anytime you do feel that, especially those of you who are in the public eye, Nita, your mom, so you have a whole bunch of other energies coming right now. Morgan, you work with people all day. Zoe, I know you're getting more and more in the public eye all the time. And anyone else who's watching this, especially if you're in the public eye, you have stuff coming at you all the time that you don't even understand. I mean, I'll tell you, sometimes when I send out a splashy video, for the rest of the day, I'll feel I feel people scanning me. I feel people getting triggered. I feel people loving me, hating me, you know, like all, I can feel it. So then it's up to me. What do? Do I just let it like knock me out, or do I be like, okay, well, here's my boundary. I'm putting this out because it's my work to put it out, not because I'm trying to elicit any type of energy coming back at me, but because I have this thing in me that needs to broadcast, do this thing, you know? So, okay, so when we have these strong, beautiful boundaries on our auras, then we're free to interact in a healthy way. Think about if you're trying to braid 3 strands of something that just kept dissolving into goo. You can't make the braid. You know, you have to have something that has a way to interact by brushing up against the edges, so you need the edge. Okay, so to make the dance better, freedom, clear, beautiful boundaries is what we want. So first off, let's just start by diving right in. So you know you've got 7 chakras in your body. Are you guys familiar with the chakra system already? Pretty decently? Okay. Those of you who aren't, who are watching this in the future, you can just pause this and go on the internet and pull up a picture of the chakras. Just type in human chakras or something like that. Do an image search, and you'll see points of light along the spine. It's the color of the rainbow, going from red at the bottom, then to violet up at the top. And in the center, there's a total of 7 of them. There are 3 above, 3 below. In the center is your heart. The heart is green, or you can also see it as golden. You can also see it as pink. But the point is the heart center in humans, it's my understanding that that's the whole point. It's my understanding that we're here as humans on Earth, embodied, to develop the heart center. And I think that once we fully develop the heart center, which comes through witnessing pain, which comes through feeling pain, which comes through figuring things out, once we developed it so that it's fluid and sustainable and recoverable and strong, but also vulnerable and authentic and open, once we figured all that out, I feel like what's going to happen off this planet, and again, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it, is that it's like we're creating a vaccine here on Earth, and it will go out like a supernova and bless the whole universe. And so all the other little things evolving all over the cosmos don't have to go through this crazy game that we've gone through on Earth in order to get the wisdom that we're getting. That's why you hear things like people say, well, the Earth school is the hardest school. Well, da-da-da-da. And a lot of people stop there, and they're like, oh, we're at the hardest school, as if you didn't choose to come in, which all of us were raring to go. You know, you don't accidentally come to Earth. You don't get sentenced to Earth. Everyone here is like, can I go? Can I go? Can I go? It's about to be 2012. Oh my God, I want to be alive in 2012. You know, all this partying going on Earth right now. So, excuse me. So, look, I'm freaking myself out. Do you guys have any questions so far? Or any comments?
No, it's all good.
No?
I
Okay,
like
okay, good. Feel free to stop me anytime. So, all right. So our power source is at our heart, because since it is the thing that we're developing here, it's also where we have a direct line to the divine. And so how about right now, you can keep your eyes open or closed, doesn't matter. Just start to feel into the center of your heart, the way that you felt the energy before, the way that you felt the energy in your hands, and the way that you feel emotions. Because when it comes to energy work like this, we feel it often along our emotional lines, and it's kind of physical, kind of emotional, kind of like the way you get butterflies in your stomach. It's about physical like that. It's that type of physicality that it's something, but it's not something nervous system-y. So feel in the very, very center of your chest. And so you're not going for the physical heart here, you're going behind and in the middle from where your physical heart is, the very, very central line. You should feel there, the word that's coming to mind to describe it is a seed, is a divine seed, like a seed.
I've seen that. I've seen it before.
Oh, maybe you showed it to me. I've never seen it like this before. This is the first time.
Really?
Mhm.
No, like
Mhm.
I've seen it like a little germinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so let's just do a meditation with this right now. So okay, so close your eyes, breathe in. Let's see the seed at your heart center. It can be any type of seed, it doesn't matter. But as you breathe, start giving it nourishment. Start giving it prana. And when I say prana, I mean the purest divine source of love, of inspiration, of growth, of abundance, of power. The thing that permeates everything everywhere, the thing that lets things show up in the physical reality to begin with, that pure, perfect divine frequency. As you breathe, just set your mind to that. Start thinking about how that feels, how it would look. And as you breathe, bathe that seed in that energy. And imagine how a seed works underground. You plant it in the ground and then you pour water. And it's such a beautiful symbolic thing to grow plants from seed, because you're pouring water on dirt for a while before they show up. And so if you imagine what happens underground, the seed is just sitting there resting in the ground in stasis. And then all of a sudden it feels this wash of water go over it, and that kind of wakes it up a little. And then all of a sudden it feels the heat from the sun gently warming up the soil around it, and that makes it kind of interested in what's going on outside. And as you're breathing, and as each of your inhales are bathing the seed in pure life force, this is what the water and the sun represents anyway, the very first thing that happens on the seed is almost like the outer shell of it gets soft, almost like it sends out these tiny, tiny little filaments, these tiny little, almost like hairs or little tiny tendrils that sense everything that's going on, that sense and look around and say, am I safe? Is this a place I want to be? Is this a place that I can thrive? And so as this seed in your heart is feeling that, imagine yourself nourishing and saying, yes, yes, this is a place that you can thrive. This is a place for you to grow. And then what happens to a seed? It cracks open, right? So a very gentle little thin crack in the side, and then these beautiful tendrils start to come out. Some of them are roots, some of them are sprouts. And with this heart seed, it's going to be different. We're not growing a plant, we're growing an energy structure. So as this seed starts to open up, imagine that it's just glowing with gold and beautiful light, and that these tendrils are coming out from it, spreading all over your body, bringing you a greater sense of strength, a greater sense of love. And as this seed blossoms, as this seed grows and sends these millions and millions of tendrils all along your energetic structure, all down your legs, all down your arms, up to your head, out to your skin, to your fingers and toes, imagine that it is bringing with it a divine frequency, almost like it has its own bioluminescence. Like it has its own golden bioluminescence running through you, making you glow. It's always been a part of you. Right now, you're just getting it activated to a new level. Let it permeate your whole being. Let it be ultimately strong. Now think of what happens when that tiny seed grows into a huge tree, huge and powerful, strong, and let it come out from you. Let it fill up your aura. So almost like you have a golden filigree coming through you, going out from you, filling up your aura, so that it surrounds you and it is you. And so if anyone were to be able to see this, when they looked at you, they would just see this sphere of golden light and this beautiful filigree and this beautiful woven lattice work, all in sacred geometric spirals and fractals, representing you and your unique spirit, strong, powerful, and fed by prana. So again, whenever you want to activate this, just breathe in, imagine that you're breathing in all that golden love of the universe, of divine heart, and then breathe it out along all those lines. Oh, it feels good. It feels to me like the way that a tree sounds when it talks to you, when those rustles come through in the leaves.
Yeah.
And then imagine at the edge, imagine a flowering happening. Imagine a flowering happening. So at the edge of your aura, now at the edge where that auric envelope sits, imagine that they're just covered in flowers, beautiful, beautiful flowers facing outward, shining such strong light, made of powerful, powerful golden light, impervious, so that anyone who looks at you just sees beauty and impenetrable golden shining glory. And these flowers protect you, because think about how flowers attract bees. Bees never sting flowers. They never sting flowers. And flowers love the bees to come and hang out with them. So if you can look at yourself like a flower, then anyone who comes, even if they want to take something from you, they can't, because you are a fountain and your power comes from within. So it's impossible for anyone to take anything from you that you can't immediately bring right back with another breath. Okay, so let's just sit with that for one more breath. Breathe in. And then send all that beautiful energy out into that filigree. Oh, okay. Ooh, that was yummy. Thank you, guys. Okay.
Ooh, that was amazing.
Yeah, you guys inspired it. I didn't even know we were going to do that. Okay, so let's work on a little bit of grounding. Oh, did you have something to say, Nita? Did you unmute? Oh. Okay. How about anytime you want to say something, just like wave your hand or something so we'll see you and then we'll know and then you can unmute talk. Okay, great. So let's work on grounding for a minute. So you guys already have a pretty clear system of the chakra, idea of the chakra system. Zoe, how are we on time, by the way? Let's see how deep we're going to go into this.
We've got a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. So let's just quickly pop through all the chakras. So I personally like to start at the top and work down. A lot of people will start at the bottom and work their way up through the chakras. In fact, that's probably like 95% of what I've seen people do. However, what I find that for me, since I feel like I'm downloading in starseed style, not coming up through the physical, it works better for me to go top down. So let's just start top down. And imagine that floating above your head, about 6 inches above your head and about as big as your two fists put together, is a ball of beautiful, glimmering, white, prismatic, violet tinted light. And then going up from that is a line going up from you all the way to the central core of the universe, all the way up to the divine. And that glimmering ball of beautiful, bright, white, violet light is your 7th chakra. It's also your crown chakra. It's where your inspiration comes in. It's where your divine link comes in. Anytime you need more inspiration, anytime you're feeling in a rut, tired, you can activate that and you will get divine frequency downloads. So it might tell you, take a rest and go to sleep. It might tell you, eat a certain type of food. It might just give you a pop of inspiration, but the whole point is your 7th chakra is your connection to God's source in the way that it comes down into your brain. So allow that to just shine really, really bright. Imagine that it's just one of those clean energy, really bright light just beaconing out being fed from above and below, being fed by your experiences on earth, and also from the divine frequency that always links you to the Creator. Let that exist for a minute. Let it be clean and bright. If it's a little dim, brighten it up. If it's a little shadowy, make it brighter. And then let your awareness go down your central line into the center of your head. So this is behind the bridge of your nose and in the very, very center, sideways too. So it's the very, very center of your head. This is where your strong glandular system sits that handles all of your intuition. Your pineal gland, your pituitary glands are very linked to that spot. And imagine that that is an indigo color. And whenever I imagine this, when I'm cleaning up my chakras, I imagine that it's like a star shining at the center of my mind, like it's a radio tower, radio frequency that I can pick up on anything around me that I want to see. But also remember, and this is part of strengthening your aura, that you don't have to pick up every frequency that comes through. You're not, just because you're sensitive, you're not entitled to just look at everything and anything that happens to come along your path. It is fine for you to tune what you're seeing to be the best of creation. If what you want to embody is the best of creation, to bless everyone around you, then you are entitled, and it is your birthright to be able to tune when it's in alignment only to the best, only to the inspiring things, the empowering things, the beautiful things, the things that make you see the amazing parts of this world. If you have to do something shadowy or more challenging, it's going to come to you anyway, so there's no reason to go looking for it. You might as well just hold this as your center. And this is also when you're balancing, so make a decision that you're focusing there. Okay, and let that shine really, really brightly, like that lighthouse, like that beacon. Okay, now have your attention move down to your throat. And this is just below. So if you touch your throat, you feel those lumps right there. A man will feel an Adam's apple, but women don't have Adam's apples as strongly, but you will feel where it would be like a lump in your throat. It's just the natural way that your throat anatomy is. And just below that lump, you'll feel a very sensitive spot that's very tender. And it's gentle. It might give you like a little chill touching it. Where you speak, it's where it resonates. It's about maybe like an inch or a half inch lower than that lump you felt in your throat. This is where your throat chakra is. This is where your resonance is. And so this is a bright blue color. Some people see it as a sky blue. Some people see it as a sapphire blue. It doesn't matter, just whatever you want. And I also see this too as a way to broadcast, as a frequency way. Because even if you're dancing, even if you're writing, even if you're drawing, it's still using this chakra. The chakra is how you how you emanate information. So even if it's something that's not speaking, it still runs through this in order to get out of you and into the world. So again, you can just make it super pure. And you might notice from time to time that it might feel a little tired, it might feel a little drained, and that's okay. Sometimes it's totally fine for you to cloister different chakras and say, okay, I'm going to heal this. Think of a baby sleeping, right? When the baby gets tired, it needs to sleep. The baby can't be like, I'm going to burn through today because I've got stuff to do. You say, no, let me just put you to bed. And we all deserve that. And all of our chakras deserve it. So sometimes it's okay to just wrap it. A great visualization is imagining a blue, super furry, super cozy, long, like winter scarf. And just imagine that you're wrapping it around, and it's just beaming this nice energy in to restructure your throat chakra. Also, if you're someone who talks for a living, or if you are needing to get something out, it's a good thing to focus on. I definitely felt this morning when I did my own meditation, I definitely felt any little blocks I had in my throat chakra. I was like, okay, doing a workshop today. So I gotta stuff that out, Okay, and then your heart. So let's go to the heart. So the heart, again, at the center of the chest. And sometimes you'll see this amazing anatomy around your heart, sacred geometry formations and triangles and cubes and dodecahedrons and all this kind of stuff. Or you might see concentric circles, or you might just feel a soft glow. Whatever it is, and especially for women, also be aware when you're working of your heart chakra, of your breast chakras. And your breast chakras are back from your nipple and the center of your breast. And if you focus there with your energy, you'll see when young girls start to bud, when they just start going from the same bodies as little boys and becoming women, it's called budding, because there's this bundle of nerves, I think there's stem cells included, in the center of the breast where the growth starts. And then after that, the breast fills out over time and looks like an adult breast. But that central bundle of nerves and of cells is where your breast chakra sits. So right now you can feel it. Like if you focus back from your nipple in the center of your breast, you can feel this little glow coming from each. And that's really important. Most of us ignore that. And that's a way that we can give the world love and nourishment all the time. And it's fed from the heart. So it's heart energy. Okay. So now let's move down to the solar plexus. And the solar plexus is just at the bottom of your rib cage, right at your upper abdomen and in the center of your body. And it's called solar because it's like a sun. It's yellow, bright, 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 bright yellow. And you can imagine it's shining out. Sometimes lately I've been seeing my solar plexus like this, kind of like the Orion, kind of, but in a 3D like filigree level. And something I'll show you guys later too is, well, I can just show you right now. If you want to imagine like a filigree, again, of energy in your solar plexus, like some type of structure that it is unique to you. And then what you can do is, as you breathe light into it, make it super bright, super powerful, golden, yellow, strong. What you can then do is expand it around you. So you're creating a copy of it. So one stays inside, but a copy of it expands around you to wrap around your aura. And what you can then also do is expand it even larger to go out and find for you the things that will resonate with what your solar plexus wants to happen. So it will start synchronicity streams going in the world that will align you with what's going to happen in your life, because your solar plexus is where your willpower comes in. You know, you get the inspiration, and then your solar plexus is where you can actually make it happen. If you're getting stuff from the lower chakras, like you need some type of root chakra rest or sustenance or roof over your head or whatever it is, makes it then happen. So your solar plexus needs to be strong and bright. So you imagine that it's that beautiful yellow, bright, bright, bright color. Sometimes you'll feel like a warmth going out through your body. Sometimes you'll feel maybe a different kind of frequency go in. Sometimes it might feel like it's offline. Again, it's okay if sometimes your chakras need to be swaddled and cared for a while. Definitely certain times in my life I've had it be maybe a couple weeks or something where one of my chakras was like, I'm sleeping right now. And I'd say, okay. And then eventually it was almost like it would hatch again to a greater level of complexity and strength and power and divinity. Actually, it happened with my solar plexus while I was on sabbatical. Yeah. So next, okay, solar plexus is bright. Okay, second chakra, and this is the womb. And I like that we have all women on the call right now because this one's super fun for me to work with. So you can do a couple hip circles, feel it. Maybe if you want to find exactly where it is, if you run your hand from one hip bone to the other. So you know where your hip bones are in front of your pelvis. They're running from one to the other. There's a spot right in the center, right below your belly button, where it feels sensitive. And you press and you feel sensitive. That is where the center is. And it's also where your womb is, where your uterus is, where your G-spot is. All these things are the same thing. And it's the center of your second chakra. So if you, again, it's not the front of your body, it's in the center of your body. So you move that awareness back and feel the sacredness. And this goes for men too. I mean, our chakras are in the same place, even if you don't have a physical womb, you have something else, but you can feel that center of ultimate creativity, ultimate just resting potential. It might be that you're turning on something and you're creating something and something's going on, or it might just be that you're resting in that potential. I had a vision in the shower a couple of weeks ago that my womb had turned into a universe, and it was dark, and it was stars were waiting to be born. And I heard that I now had a cosmic womb, and I was like, I don't know what that means, but it sounds great. I mean, I guess each of us has that, you know, it's just because you think any one person creates a whole universe. So your womb is where people come from. So it is literally the seat of the divine, you know? And so the way that I like to imagine the womb often is like a flower. So as you breathe energy into it, you imagine that central spot that we just found is like a flower bud. And then as you breathe more and more energy into it, that flower opens and spreads out. And so then it becomes bigger, and it's like you are sitting in the center of this beautiful orangey reddy flower that's carrying you through life, that's, again, emanating these frequencies, that's bringing to you what you want. The way that flowers generate and bring things in, all a flower has to do is be its beautiful self. and the bees find it, you know? And if a flower were going, I don't know, maybe it's not right for me to smell so good, then it wouldn't work. So all of that beauty in your second chakra, all that sacred sensuality and beauty that you have, all of you, always, you can shine that out. All of that. I mean, I'm looking at you right now and I'm seeing it. Zoe, I'm seeing that amazing like enchantment that you have in your eyes. And Nita, I'm seeing that beautiful smile and the way that you're so nurturing. And then Morgan, I'm just seeing your like sacred silence, and your lips are so voluptuous. So like I could definitely see how each of you guys has your own way, like your own flowering, your own way of being in that sacral chakra. Sacred, you know, and that is the power of woman. One of the big ones, you know, is our ability to be that. So we need to use it, because if we don't use it, it doesn't go away. It just gets weird. So we might as well use it on purpose. Yeah. So again, cleaning up. Sometimes you might notice some wounding in your second chakra. Sometimes you might notice some pains that come up. Sometimes you might notice some constrictions. You just breathe into them. Imagine it flowering open. Sometimes I see it as tendrils going out in every direction. You can see it as a light, whatever works for you. And people watching this later, you might be seeing something totally different, but whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Just make sure that it feels open and that it feels fluid and comfy and cozy. Okay, and now let's move down into the root chakra. So to feel your root chakra, focus. It depends on where your sensitivity is. You could focus, if you want to focus exactly where it is, you could focus on your perineum, which is the space on the very, very bottom of your body. If you were to draw a line from your spine, it goes right out into the ground. You could focus on your hips, on your buttocks, on the backs of your thighs. Here's a little random story is I have root chakra wounding from, or had from, you know, the wounding that happens to us, it's always an accident. No one really means to do it. It's always, you know, best intentions. And when I was little, my parents believed in spanking. And I've always been extremely, extremely sensitive physically. And my father was very big and strong. So he didn't realize how much it hurt me. And so to this day, if I'm stressed, I will clench up my whole hamstrings, the back of my thighs. And it's because that pain was coming right onto my root chakra, I would kind of pop out of my body in that space. So then I'd float above my body a little. So even to this day, it's an exercise for me to settle down into my body, to settle down into my hips, to let myself live in my legs and my feet and my hips and my butt, you know, all these places that we're supposed to be. That's the seat of our power. That's what makes us here. That's what makes us get here. So, and it's also where we create, because if you, I mean, this is a little graphic, but I think you guys will know what I mean. If you think our root chakra is where we go to the bathroom, it's where you create soil. And so I don't know if you've ever had this experience, but I've gone on camping trips before that you're camping for like 3 or 4 days, way, way, way out, no porta potties, nothing. You have to dig a hole, you know, and go to the bathroom. And my very favorite way to go, there's this whole sequence that you do. It's actually amazing. You know, at the end of the few days, when you get it down, at the end of a few days, you feel cleaner, because, you know, we evolved doing that rather than using like toilet paper that falls apart. Although when we're in this society, that's what we do. But there are ways to do it in nature that you feel really, really clean. Anyways, the point is, my favorite place to go would always be next to some big tree. So, you know, you get those little rumbles a few minutes early. You're like, okay, in about 15 minutes, I'm going to need to find a spot. So then you're looking around for this beautiful big tree. Hopefully, my favorite were like pine trees that had low branches. You can kind of sneak in and then hide in the tree, you know, and lean against it too. But what I would love to do is go right up to where the trunk was and dig a hole right at the roots, because I knew, especially when I was, you know, 3 days hike out in the Teton Mountains or something, I knew that tree had never, ever experienced the codes that I was about to give it. I had eaten food in restaurants. I had been all over cities, and then the stuff had come through my body. And also I'd been meditating and I'd been intending sacred stuff. And so I would feel the tree, and the tree would be like, what? And I'm healthy, you know, so it's not like I was putting a bunch of toxic stuff. And the tree was like, it was like candy. And this is so weird, but it's so true. That happens. So if you think you're creating, when you go to the bathroom, even though the way our septic systems work, it doesn't really do this, but the purity of it is, you're creating earth. You are creating earth. You're creating things that feed other things, because it's fertilizer. You know, so we're often taught that part of our body is like dirty and gross and whatever, but the truth is, you need it. It's what makes the earth. Like, we help make the earth. So so let's focus there. Is it interesting?
Yeah, no, it sounds like it's like grid working, but in a really weird kind of
Yeah.
different
So
way.
many things are way weirder than people ever know.
You've changed my like attitude.
About poo, loving the poo. Yeah, you know, it's the fastest. Okay, so since we're root chakra, yeah, you guys wanted to talk about grounding. So this is how you go to the bathroom when you're out in the woods. I'll just give you it because why not? So the way that it works, and this is without toilet paper. So the way that it works is you're looking around. I had a backpacking guide teach me this who'd been guiding people for like 20 years. What you do is you look once you know you're going to have to go, and if you're like you're walking or whatever, you start looking around for things to wipe with. So you will need like little pebbles that are soft, like river rocks are good. About yay big is like the best size. Like a little smaller than your index finger, I guess, is the best size. Soft ones, or those little soft papery pine cones, or leaves, but you would want to stack a few of them. Leaves are actually not even the best, or little sticks that you would break and use. And the sticks that are the best are the ones that have had the bark worn off because they're soft. Or if you want grass, it's funny because grass doesn't actually work that well. Grass works well as like the very last thing you do after you've already done everything else. And what you do is you pick a handful of it, like a handful of grass, and then you fold it over either once or twice. So it becomes a brush. Isn't this crazy and awesome? Like, I know, it's what it's thinking. So anyways, when you know you go, you start gathering things. So and then you also will need a stick about as big as a pen, maybe a little bit bigger, but thick so you can dig with it. So that means you don't have to carry a trowel, you don't have to carry toilet paper, nothing. You just have to start looking around when it's going to be time. So you're gathering these things as you go. You can just like bring out your shirt and like use a little bucket or a basket, and then you find your spot. And where I would recommend is the very best spot is you find a big tree that has two branches low to the ground growing out, and then you walk right up to the tree. And and usually around a tree there's a little hill going down, just a slight slope. So first what you do is you move all the ground cover. So say you found a pine tree. You scoop the pine needles flat and up away. So you uncover the ground, but don't throw away the pine needles because you're going to use them again. Just scoop them out of the way and above so that runoff doesn't get to them. And then you dig a trough with your stick. You don't have to dig a hole. It's okay to dig a trough. And the trough only needs to be maybe yay deep. Like maybe as big as from your fingers to your palm. It doesn't have to be super deep. There's not that much volume here. So it's different when you don't have a bowl of water that's catching it like we do inside, So you dig the trough. And as you're digging the trough, again, you take the earth and put it aside. You don't just toss it. You put it above where the runoff would be, because you're going to use it again. So you're taking out this earth. So then you have a little like half, essentially it's like a half circle dug into the earth. And then you turn around, drop trowel, and lean on those two branches and you can like lean your back on the tree. I know, because just squatting is, especially if you're going number 2, which in this case you are, like squatting for that long can be a challenge. So you lean on the tree, and some of the most precious memories I have are sitting there doing this and looking out at the most freaking gorgeous, like, mountain range as you're taking a poo. It's a very strange experience, but it's fun. So after you're done, the way that you wipe is you take like the things that you got and you use them, and then you throw them. You don't put them in the hole. You throw them if you're way out in nature, because it's cleaner to do that, because the next rains will wash them, disinfect them, the bugs will come and clean them, rather than burying a bunch of stuff in the ground to hold that. So it's, if you're like somewhere where there are people around, you wouldn't do this. But if you're way out, which is where you would need to do this anyway, you throw them. Like you just throw it away. Make sure that it's like far, because the land will reabsorb. And so then you still have your digging stick. Don't use your digging stick for that. Use the little rocks and pine cones and leaves you found or whatever. And once you feel clean, it's really amazing how clean you feel after doing this. I would never have believed it if someone had told me, if I had experienced it myself. Then what you do is you fix your clothes and everything, and then take a handful of the dirt that you pulled up and sprinkle it on what you just did and mix it up with the stick. And then take another handful of dirt and sprinkle it. And by the time you do that, the third time, you can't even smell it. It doesn't even smell. The enzymes in the dirt are eating it. Yeah.
Like a composting toilet.
Exactly, yes. So the enzymes in the dirt, like I said, by the third handful you put in, it doesn't even smell like poop anymore at all. Like they've totally gone to work on it and are reintegrating it. So then after that's done and you've made it integrated with the ground, then you put the rest of the dirt in, and then you scoop those pine pine leaves right back over it. So it's like nothing ever happened. And then you throw the
Yeah.
stick, boom. It's like nothing ever happened. And that felt probably those have been some of the most sacred experiences of my life, because I knew that I was exchanging DNA.
What you were saying, it really reminds me, and it's like this is about like the root chakra and stuff, but one of the things, because when I was a gardener for a while, and when you're a gardener, you kneel down in that same kind of squatting position. Like, I think women used to do that in times past when they were cooking as well, and that's like a really good way to like ground yourself, is get into that. It's like a yoga position almost. And
it's like wide legs, knees out, bending at your knees. It's called a goddess pose, actually, when you do it with your arms like this. And it's actually great for dancing. When you're just dancing around your house, make sure you do that a few times. It's great for grounding, and also having strong thighs, because it's a good thigh workout. And having strong thighs is just a really beautiful way to be embodied. When I know that when my thighs are nice and strong, I feel much more goddessy, and I feel much more powerful. Yeah, it's true. So, and that's root chakra. Thighs are definitely root chakra. Well, inner thighs are sacral chakra. Outer thighs are root chakra. There is a chi line that runs all the way from the arch of your foot, all the way up the inside of your calf, all the way upside the inside of your thigh, through the inside of your vagina, all the way up through your body, all the way up on the sides of your body. And that chi line is where a lot of us store trauma. So just a good thing to know, like, especially depending on how your sexual romantic relationships are, that's a place that you could, for instance, ask your lover to give you some special attention. And just on the insides of your thighs, that line on the inside of your thigh running from your knee all the way up to your yoni. And that's some intense healing that can come from that, so okay. So let's do a grounding meditation, having nothing to do with poo or trees. Okay. So, but having a lot to do with manifestation. So close your eyes, breathe, and now let your awareness go down to your hips, to your thighs, and then imagine a line of energy running from you into the earth, all the way down, down, down through the layers of the earth's crust, through the underground spaces, through the underground rivers, all the way down, 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 down to the core of the earth, to that molten core of the earth. Some people say it's a star. Some people say it's lava rock. I kind of believe that somehow it's both. And when you feel that connection, you'll feel this amazing red lava warmth connect with you. And then that line of energy, you'll know that it's an exchange, because not only are you receiving grounding from the earth, but the earth, she is receiving information from you. We're here to bring things to her. And so when we connect with her, she is fed by our experiences and by our wisdom and by our love and by our presence and our focus. So as you're connecting to the earth, sending in all of your healing frequencies, sending all of your love and gratitude, and she's allowing you to feel grounded, held, secure. And now imagine that on that line of energy going down, it's almost like, rather than just a line of energy, you can see it as a column or like a tower going upside down into the ground. You could even imagine it made of bricks or stones made of like carnelian and ruby and garnet. You can imagine a whole castle underground that can then hold everything that you want to create in your world. And you can go walk the hallways. You can look and see what's there. Just today, I did this in my morning meditation, and for the first time, there ended up being plants. Always before, it had just been the stark castle full of beautiful red stones, but there was no life. And just today, this morning, I found lots and lots of plants growing everywhere, and these lining every wall, and these built-in troughs with, closed circuit gray water running through them. It was amazing. I didn't even know. But the point is to have a whole structure under you running into the earth that anchors you. You can do this wherever you are because it moves with you. It isn't linked to a place. But what it is linked to is your reality, your paradigm, because you are the embodiment of a certain frequency of the golden age coming here. And so everywhere you go, you represent that. And so if underneath you in the earth, you always have an astral, energetic prototype of what you want floating around with you everywhere you go, then it becomes much, much, much easier for you to hold that. And it becomes more pleasant for you to be grounded here in this place. So just take a couple breaths and look around, see what it's like. Feel it out. It might be different than mine. Probably will be different than mine. No, there's no wrong answer. Just allow it to be a whole structure down there that's holding you secure, that's made up of your energy and earth energy combined. Let yourself get really, really grounded, and remembering that grounding isn't only the bottom of your body, it's also everywhere that you connect in this world. So it's the edge of your skin, it's the inside of your nostrils when you feel the air move when you breathe, it's your fingertips when you touch things around you. Okay. Giving thanks for being grounded and being here in this world, in this time, in this place. Come back. So what did you guys experience?
It was funny. I've been like taken in visions underground before. I think I talked to you about that last time we met. But this time I actually ended up seeing cave paintings for some
What were
reason.
they of?
Like very similar to the ones that we normally see. So, like the earth colors and stuff. But no, I didn't look very close, but it was like the walls, were like undulating. So that was kind of cool. I
Ooh,
want to explore that more, see what's going on there.
Yeah, I feel like you might have some cool past life memories if you do that. You might have some cool activations. Interesting. What happened for you, Morgan?
I felt like I was seeing symbols too that reminded me of like ancient symbols. I haven't ever seen that before when I was doing chakra meditation. I felt like I was just seeing colors, but now that was the first time I felt like I was seeing structures and
Wow.
Cool. That's neat.
I felt like I felt gravity too, just the groundingness of being pulled to the earth.
Yeah, like being cuddled to the earth. Yeah, she holds us close. Yeah. Cool. Thank you for sharing that. Anita, what did you see?
For me, I saw sort of like underground hills, sort of like the red rocks or the red hill, I think in New Zealand or Australia. I'm not sure. I might be getting this wrong. But there's some sort of red hill. I think it's called Urugu. Sorry, I'm really bad with my pronunciation. And just like red earth. I don't know if you guys have been to Hawaii or to Africa. Like the earth is red.
The donuts.
The donuts like that. Yeah, the soil is red. Yeah. So that's what I saw. One of clay.
Beautiful, neat. So yeah, thanks you guys. And you can do this anytime. This is something that I do as my meditation every day, go through all the chakras and then the root chakra. And this workshop is 2 hours long, but once you get used to the sequence, you can do it in a few minutes. It's no problem. It's just muscle memory of your mind, So, okay. Also, it's important, especially when you're feeling spun out, when you're feeling sensitive, just that bit of grounding, just going into your own inner world, your own grounded inner earth world will help so much. Because again, when I think of a strong aura, it's as if we're all cradled within our own frequencies. We're all held and protected within our own frequencies. We don't need anybody else to come outside and save us. We don't need anybody else to help us. We don't need to save or help anybody else. We can just all witness each other's beautiful divine path, give what we're here to give, receive what we're here to receive, and just float along together. But it feels good. It doesn't feel separate and scary and alone. It feels cradled and swaddled and yummy, because we can still interact just as much. We just don't lose anything, and no one else has to lose anything.
Yeah.
Okay, yay, that was fun. Okay, so now that we have gone through all of our chakras, let's do the next step, which is going to be to just let any static go. So take a couple deep breaths. Now feel all those chakras we just lit up, and make sure that they're centered. They can be spinning. Some people see their chakras as spinning. They can just be stationary. It doesn't matter, whatever feels right to you, because remember, this work is largely emotional in nature. You're translating energy work runs through emotion a lot. So you have to feel your way through. So see all of your chakras strong, shining like stars along your spine. Go ahead and adjust your posture again. Especially sitting at the computer, it's easy to get into hunchback without even realizing. And now as you start to breathe out, so when you breathe in all that yummy prana, all that yummy energy right from divine source that is ultimate love, ultimate sacredness, ultimate power and authenticity and abundance of all kinds. Breathe it in, and as you breathe it out, feel it fill up your body. Fill up your spine, your spinal cord, your brain. Feel it fill up your muscles, your lymph system, your blood system, your nervous system, your organs, your skin, your hair, eyes, mouth, teeth, fingers, toes. And then feel it start to fill the space around you in your aura. So as you breathe in that beautiful shining light, super, super bright, regenerating, expansive, nourishing light. And as you breathe out, let it go out from you and fill up your space in your aura. Let it nourish the space in your aura. And start to just notice, again, with that feeling of emotional feelings, with that feeling of the same type of nerves that tell you you're having butterflies in your stomach, or the same type of thing that you can feel with a headache or a toothache or something that's kind of physical but also energetic. Don't just feel with it inside your body. Let it go out in the space around you. Feel where there might be constriction or tightness in your aura around you. And as you feel it, just breathe that light into it and let it just dissolve. Let it just dissolve like dropping food coloring in water. You drop food coloring can seem really bright when it's the drop falling through the air, but then as soon as it falls into the water, it just dissolves. And if it's a bunch of water, it's totally gone. So allow yourself to breathe energy in that way. Let any type of static smooth out. Let any type of tightness ease. Let any piece that feels tired or drained be nourished and invigorated until your entire aura is a sphere of shining light. Okay, now we're going to do some cord removal. So keep breathing steady. Stay very present in your body and your auric space. And then with that emotional feeling going around you, it can be your mind's eye, it might be visual, it might not be. Whatever is happening for you, just sense any places that you might have connections that are cords with anyone, anything that pops into your mind, anything that might come back obsessively, any worries or any fears or any pains or any dramas or any traumas, arguments, irritation, frustration, anything. And now as you're feeling it, use your visualization to imagine that there's a cord in your aura connecting you with whatever this thing is. And if the cord is coming into you, it can look like a hook. It can look like a barb or an arrow. Sometimes it looks like an entire root system of something growing in your aura. What you do is take that divine source light, that ultimate pranic energy that is not coming from your chi, it's coming straight from source, and it's usable for you at any time because it's your birthright to use as much of it as you want. It's what we're made out of and what everything else is made out of. And imagine that you are coating the edge of whatever the end of that cord is with this energy. So if it's a root system, imagine that you just have big globby handfuls of this beautiful golden energy. You're just coating it. You're just wrapping it up in this, because whatever it is that's connected to you has come to you because it really wants that. And it sees you being a way that it can get that. So just give it that directly. Just coat whatever the end of that cord is entirely in this energy. And then as you're coating it in this energy, let it recede, let it go out from you, because now it has what it needs. It no longer needs to stay connected to you. So let it go out from you with your blessing, with your love, with your wishes that from now on, it get whatever it needs directly from source energy. And then let it go away and back to where it came. And the hole that it left behind, just let it fill in, like when you have your hands in sand and you take them out. Or when you have your hands in water and you take them out, it just fills in perfectly. Let the space fill in perfectly and sit with it for a minute. Observe it as the energy swirls and as it realigns and as it fills itself up. So it's like that cord was never there. And now repeat, if you see anywhere else, or if you feel any soreness in your body, look and see, what is it? Coat it with that sacred source energy. Let it go back to from whence it came, and then let the space in your aura fill up and let it be completely impervious, as if it were never there. And you don't even have to know where these cords are coming from. You can just imagine that any given cords in your aura, this is going for. And now imagine that any cords that you have sent out, of course, without meaning to, none of us mean to do this, but we all do it from time to time accidentally. Imagine that you're just reeling them in. Anything that you're hoping gives you approval, anything that you're hoping validates you, anything that you're hoping somehow gives you something to feel okay. Doesn't matter what it is, forgives you or loves you or wants you or considers you success or whatever it is. That is, ooh, good, thank you. Ooh, interesting. Bing, bing, bing. Okay, so we have a half hour. This is perfect timing. So anything that you're wishing for, hoping for, you guys know it's that cravey feeling, that feeling when you're craving some type of response, some type of validation. Just let yourself reel that back in. And as soon as you reel it back in into your own brightly shining aura, you will realize that, oh, that's right. You don't need validation from anywhere else. You have it from within, and the stuff from within, that pranic, beautiful love, source, God, divine energy, is all that can ever hit that craving anyway. Nothing else can ever help anyway. So reel in all of your cords. You might see them coming in like, when you pour syrup or chocolate sauce and it sits on the surface for a minute and then it melts in and all becomes one thing. Imagine it being like that. So just gather all your tentacles back in and then have them all become one, even brighter, even more powerful now, because all that energy that you were sending out is now just yours again. And then around all of it, wrap this beautiful blanket of brightly, brightly shining iridescent light. This is your auric envelope. It's a little soft, but it's so strong. Imagine it wrapping around your entire aura. Times when you feel like you are going into a place that might be a little bit difficult to be in, you can imagine that this is made of black obsidian. You can imagine that it's made of steel or titanium. You can imagine that it's made of mirrors, so no one can even see you. All they see is a reflection of themselves, which is truly all we see anyway. But when you remember that, it doesn't matter what people think of you, because you're like, oh yeah, you're just seeing a reflection of yourself. So it doesn't matter if you like me or not, because I know what I am, and I'm getting this love from within. Allow that to be nice and strong. Allow that mirror, the aura, the light, the obsidian, all of these layers you're getting. You can also create that golden filigree on the outside. For a while, I was creating a golden filigree on my aura that was sharp pointed, and it would catch anything unpleasant that came to me and then just dissolve it. Anything pleasant didn't even matter, it just went right through. So let yourself see that, let yourself experience it. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Let yourself get to know your own auric envelope, and just let yourself bathe for a moment in that beautiful energy of your own power, of your own nurturing, of your own nourishment, because you know you better than anyone else knows you. You know what you need better than what anyone else can ever say or see or do, no matter who they are, no matter how well they know you, because we're all constantly changing. Okay, set the intention that this stay with you, and that you be able to re-up this whenever you need easily, and that your aura maintain the intelligence that it has, the genius that it has, and that it now be focused on staying healthy on its own too. Good, and a deep breath. And come back. And how did that feel? What was it like for you guys?
It felt really freeing for me, and I felt like I started to see my vision, imagining like the white got clear into white light, and then I felt like I was seeing energy just like zooming in and zooming out. And
Nice. keep practicing that. You're gonna see some cool stuff as time passes. It's gonna keep growing. Cool. Yeah. What else?
That
Nita,
was
yeah.
really amazing.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Either way. Yeah.
I felt like I just had a really long nap,
Yay.
and so it rejuvenated. Sometimes when you sleep, you don't feel rested and rejuvenated. It felt like I had just had like the best sleep ever. But the most significant part for me is my mental clarity. It's just like better.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, and visualization of the light, the violet light, was really, really powerful for me. So,
Nice. Yeah, thank you. And when I first started meditating, like 15 years ago, the thing that I realized from the beginning was that a 10-minute meditation could make me feel like I'd taken a 2 or 3 hour nap. And I was like, wow, because at the time I was a college student and I did not have time. So I was like, yes, great. I'll do this every day because I can't take a nap. And also, Nita, with you being a mom, when you do this, when you're holding your baby, is your baby a boy or a girl? A girl. Okay, she's going to learn how to do it from you. Yeah, energetically. Also, I don't know. I don't know if you breastfeed or not, but one of the things that I remember reading, you do. Okay, one of the things I remember reading about in one of the books that changed my life was that when you breastfeed, you are also giving a ton of information, so that when you're, because it's literally created in your body, and so when she is drinking the milk, you can say in your mind, focusing on her and being like, you're strong, you're healthy, no disease can ever touch you, you're always accessing your joy, your angels are always around you, just like imbuing the milk with this. It sends it right, I'm getting chills even thinking about it. It will send it right into her, and she'll just be getting little blessings that will follow her whole life, and she doesn't even ever need to know. Nobody even needs to know. It's just this power that comes to you as mother, these things you can do.
yeah, and that's another reason that I'm here, is because I feel like as mother, you can sort of protect and shield your child, and I sort of sense a lot of energetic hooks coming from me and lots of people, even on social media, or something like that. And I sort of want to, just kind of shield her temporarily, at least.
Yeah, well, yeah, while she's still in your aura, like, right, I feel like when babies are held in arms, especially when they start moving around on their own, they're beefing up their own. But when she's in yours all the time, yeah, it's there for you to shield. And like I said, she's going to imprint what you're doing. So the stronger you make your aura, the stronger her aura will be when she's off doing her own thing. And that's the really nice thing, especially about social media. It's so easy to fall into Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and all these places. And it's so easy to care what people's opinions are. But then this practice is great because you're like, oh yeah, I don't care what anyone's opinion is. It doesn't matter because their opinion has nothing to do with me. It's all about their own world.
Yeah.
Some people have said, it's funny because the things that end up hurting my feelings the most that people say usually are not said to be mean. They're usually said because someone is having a block and they come up and then they try to give me some piece of advice that isn't right. Like that, I mean, someone did on a Facebook Live I did just the other day about sacred sexuality. Someone posted on there, too much makeup, Karis. And I was like, why? Like, what? Like, first off, of course I'm talking about sex. I'm gonna wear a ton of makeup because like, and secondly, why would you made a judgment about some block that you have and then you had to project it on me and tell me like that mattered. And also, according to who did I wear too much makeup? Whose opinion is telling me that it's too much? And why did you need to tell me? Why were you trying to hurt me? Is it felt like you were trying to cut me down and hurt me a little? But saying, dear Karis, made it seem like too much makeup, dear Karis. And I'm like, so that's one of those things that spun me out for an entire afternoon of all the nice things people say to me, but that can spin me out for an entire afternoon. And until I was like, oh, wait. Oh,
Mhm.
yeah. Okay, whatever. Thanks for your opinion. You know. So.
Yeah.
Zoe, what was your experience like?
Oh, really amazing. But I wanted to say, because that's kind of one of the things that I've been working on recently is like, I began to realize that, you know, a lot of people were putting hooks into me or like trying to take energy.
Trying to, yeah.
And also, like, I probably last year I began to see like how I was trying to get energy from places that it wasn't sustainable kind of thing. Like I wasn't able to sustain myself with that, and it didn't feel good because, you know, like trying to get recognition and like have people think that I was successful and all that kind of
It's what
stuff.
we're taught we're supposed to do. That's what we're taught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I started working on that, and it's been a process, but recently the thing that like nourishes me the most is to like just go, okay, I don't need like energy from anyone else. I can generate it myself. That kind of thing. And like that's what, when you say like the source energy and like wrapping the light around it, I saw that so much. And I was like, that's totally coming from, you know, like from below and above and from within. And it's just like that's what feeds me, kind of.
Yes, and that's the thing that everyone needs from us. You know, the thing that happens with people who are empathic, with who are healers, natural. What you know, when I've asked my parents, what was I like as a little kid? The thing that they remember is, well, you're always happy. And if we could be in like a gathering for church or something, and there'd be 30 people in the room, I would find the one person sitting alone in a corner
Yeah,
when I
yeah.
was like 2 years old, and just go like put my hand on them and just like stand with them, you know, because that's what you feel. And we're taught that in order to make people around us feel a little better, we got to feel a little worse. That it's
That's
like
very
in order
true.
to be compassionate, we have to get sad.
Yeah.
But no, it's better, in my opinion, it's better to be even more like as shiny as we can. Now, authenticity, sometimes stuff's going to make us sad, and that's okay. But when we don't have to take on other people's pain. In fact, it's better. You know, if you're trying to refill someone's empty bowl, it doesn't help if you go, my bowl's empty too. Oh, well, I guess we'll just be empty together. Right.
That's so true. Yeah, I like that analogy. That's really clever.
Yeah, Abraham Hicks, who I love, who I listen to when I work out every day, they use an analogy that I really love, and it's that especially when people talk about abundance, that like some people have more money than it's wrong to people who have less money. Abraham Hicks says, do you go around and saying, I've been well all these years, so I'm going to get sick now, so that the sick people so there's too much wellness to go around? Because, you know, I need to get a little sick now to let other people get well. It doesn't work that way. And that's not the way that financial abundance works either. The documentaries will tell you one thing, but manifestation does not actually work that way.
No,
And I
yeah.
actually think that a lot of these documentaries are actually trying to put cages on our mind. You know,
Yeah.
so be careful what you watch. I
Yeah.
watch children's shows most of the time.
True. To do with the abundance, I had like a really amazing experience. Like when we were traveling over in Europe, you know, when we were traveling the first half of the trip, it was 6 months. We had this mindset of like, be careful, we don't have enough, kind of thing. Money went by like that. It was like we lost most of our money. Then the second half of the trip, we were like, we have money, you know, we just started thinking like that, and we had more than enough. And it was like 5% of our money lasted the rest of the trip.
Amazing, yes.
It was a miracle, but that's
Yes.
the way abundance kind of works. Yeah.
And money is an energy, and the thing about money is that it is alive. Money is it is a strong archetype, and most people hate and love and desire and are bitter about money. Think about how that must feel to money. You know, money is alive. So doesn't it make sense if we make friends with money and love money in a healthy way and let it love us, and not hoard it and not fear it and not hate it, but use it as the resource that it is lovingly? You know, that makes more sense to me. Money has been coming to me in meditations lately as a green woman, this beautiful woman. And the first time she came to me, she was really, because I set the intention. I was like, you know, I need to heal some of my beliefs about money. So I want to heal money. Let me heal you, you heal me. So she started coming to me as this woman who was green. She was this young woman dressed like a debutante. And she came and she was all scratched up and all like beaten up. And she was like, people want me, but they hate me. They want me and hate me at the same time. And so I, for weeks, I was doing meditations where I was putting her in baths, and I was combing her hair, and I was beautifying her and anointing her and doing all these kinds of things. And then she started giving me gifts. One time she started giving me gifts of abundance, and then they would land in this reality. And I would be like, whoa, okay. Yeah. So
I'm getting goosebumps. That's amazing.
feel free to call on her. She's lovely. She's a sweet thing, and she's eternal. And sometimes she comes to me and she has been going through stuff. Sometimes she comes and she's just so bright. And sometimes she gives me advice. Just yesterday, I think, because one of the things that I struggle with is being too go, 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 and not stopping enough, even when I need to, because I've got a little vada going on. Sometimes it's hard for me to be still. Yeah, sometimes, and sometimes too much, I'll spin myself out. And one thing, what she told me was, because I've been going a lot, getting ready for my trip, and what she told me was, receive today. You've been working. You don't always have to be generating. You need to let money take care of you sometimes. And that thought is like, no, if I'm spending is bad. Earning is good, spending is bad. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense, because it's a flow. Like, that would be like breathing in is good and breathing out is bad. We have to breathe out.
Okay.
Go ahead, Sarah.
I have to stop interrupting, but the last thing that I wanted to say about the flow is the other day I had this vision, and it was like a river, right? And I was kind of outside of the flow watching it, but trying to take what I need, and instead I just stepped into the flow kind of thing and let it be washing over me, kind of like a river almost.
Yes. One of the gifts she gave me last week, maybe the week before, was, remember how we did that flower in our sacral chakra? She gave me a great big flower to sit on and float on down a river.
Wow.
That just happened.
That's
so
amazing.
It's the same. Yeah, it's the same. We're all on the same frequency. I love it. I love it.
But Morgan was going to say something.
Yes, Morgan, what were you?
I just said that was really cool. It's really cool.
I like being free. I like being free, and anything that keeps us, because nothing wants to enslave us. Not truly. If anything thinks it does, it's because it's scared. And it thinks that if it doesn't enslave something else, then it can't survive, which isn't real. And again, you hear people especially in the New Agey, there's so much stuff in the New Agey literature that is so disempowered. It's like, oh, it's their fault and they took from us. I'm like, who says they took from me? I'm not giving them anything. I'm sitting here looking right at them, and I'm like, hello, you deserve love like anyone else, but I'm not going to give you my life force right now. Thank you, but no. And by saying they took it, that's constantly giving it to them.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, who says? Or when, it's even this could get me crucified a little bit, but it's my opinion. But with the affirmative action stuff, I'm like, they're like, well, they never said that we're sorry. I'm like, who? Of course they didn't, because the people who did that are assholes. They're not going to say they're sorry, because they're not sorry, because they caused the wound. Why does it matter if they're sorry? Why do we care at all about their opinion? They're the one people whose opinion we shouldn't care about. We don't have to wait till they say they're sorry for us to feel better. They don't have that kind of jurisdiction over us. They shouldn't. And letting them have it is what keeps us from. So just be like, whatever, I'm the grown-up. It's kind of like when a child throws a tantrum. Or I've said this to a lot of women. Okay, so this goes for because this isn't true for anyone on the call right now, I don't think, but I think it will be true for people on the call in the future if you're in abusive relationships. And not just women, but men too. And your partner freaks out and has a tantrum on you. My advice has always been, they're having a storm, but you are the ocean. Mm-hmm. So let them storm, because they can't actually touch you, because you're bigger. Because if someone's freaking out and having their tantrum, it makes them very small energetically. If you're holding that center and being fed by source, you're huge energetically. Yeah. So, okay. So I know we don't have that much time left. I would love to do the last part of this. Okay. This is the manifestation. This is the most powerful. This thing is so good. Okay. All right. Okay. So close your eyes. Breathe, become present. And now just allow yourself to gently focus on what you want to be manifesting. And it doesn't have to be specific. It can be very general. It can just be feelings of being well taken care of, abundant, inspired. It could be something specific as somewhere you want to live, or something you want to do with your work, or something you want in your relationship. It doesn't matter. You're just trying to find the elixir of it. You're trying to find the energy of it, the emotion of it. So whatever it is, as general as I want to wake up inspired and healthy and full of life, or as specific as I want to live in this house, on this address, and this place, whatever, let yourself feel into it. Feel it. Imagine that it's happening and what you would feel like if you're there, if everything has been easy, and you might notice some little blocks come up. Well, I can't because. And so just imagine that, oh, it somehow all magically made sense. And after the hurdles are hurdled, at the end, this is how it feels. So feel with your emotional centers how it will feel. Steep in it. Feel it strongly. Let it suffuse you. Let it go through you and become you. And now, set your aura like a combination lock. Lock that frequency in. And then imagine that the outside of your aura is plugging into this world like a chip plugs into a motherboard on a computer. And that is going to find you the thing that you want, that you're resonating that frequency, and that it will take, like a ping pong machine, it will take you to the right path to go exactly where it is that you need to go. Or like one of those mazes you draw with a pencil through. But the way that you know where to go is because that energy is set like a lock in your aura. Ooh, perfect. So breathe into it, look around, see what it's like. See how it feels to know. So now feel this confidence. There's a pranic affirmation that Jasmine, who's like the queen of pranic energy, does, and she just basically says every time you find something you like, rather than necessarily having to remember to re-up it every day, just say 3 times, yes, 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 lock it in, lock it in, lock it in. And that tells you, boom, keep this. You can also re-up it, of course, if you want. And another deep breath, come back to center, release anything you no longer need. Release any of it, because you might be able to feel it better now. Just let it fall off you like dust. Okay, and come back here. Okay, what was it like? What did you experience?
I feel really shielded, and I also feel like that's going to help me make sure that I don't try to take energy from the people that I come across too. And I feel really healthy with my energy now.
Nice, awesome. I find that it works.
You can see it.
Yeah, there's something different in the way that your face, in the way that the way you're holding your face is different. I feel it too. Sometimes when I'm meditating, I'm trying to do something really hard. I'll feel my eyes like, and I'm like, okay, wait, calm. Like just this bit right here, just like relax, you know. Yeah. What did the rest of you guys feel?
For me, I really thought the, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I really felt like visualizing where you want to be was really, really powerful for me. And then what I was using while I was visualizing that, because I like to mix movements with visualizations, I think, you know, it really locks it in. So I was spinning energy with my fingers, and while I was visualizing that, and I feel like that kind of like spinning or concentric movements sort of like keeps things rolling even while you're not doing it or thinking it. So that's what I like to do, and it really felt like it did. It was like a code that was imprinted and locked in. So that was very beneficial. Yeah.
Yes, I love that. Thank you for that. And that's so true. You know, there are things I like this because there's something I was actually going to tell you guys that I forgot. So I'm so glad you reminded me since we're almost out of time. But a quick little mudra you can do if you're feeling a little spun out and about, or if you're in a difficult situation or whatever, is just making a globe, have your hands, and imagining that this is your aura, that you're kind of microcosming yourself, and that you're wrapping your own hands around your own aura, and that you are there in the center of it, this little person, you know, in the center of your aura, and that you just beam. And it's funny because you can definitely feel it go out. You know, you can, yeah, because we're fractals. We're all fractals, so it makes sense. And the spinning, I love that. It's so true, and that's real magic that you can do. Also, just a little tip for you guys, and this is for women or men who have hair long enough to do it, especially for protection or for, I've done this before, like I've had a couple experiences in my life, you know, when someone's like getting married or going on a date or getting dressed up for something, where you kind of play handmaid into them and just adorn them with all these yummy things and put blessings all over them and charge up all their crystals and all this kind of stuff. And one of the things to do is like to take your hair and braid it, and every time you twist the braid, just even, it doesn't even have to be the whole thing, it can be like a little bit underneath, especially if you're going to say like a festival or somewhere there's going to be a lot of people, and you put your intentions: I'm protected, I'm beautiful, I'm peaceful, like all, and in the braid, and the braid will hold it the whole time, you know. And it's a beautiful blessing you can do for someone else too. Like say you're like hanging out with a soul sister or something you just met, you can just like, can I do this, and like take a little bit from underneath her hair and just tell her what you're doing as you do it, and then for as long as it's there, it will generate for her.
Amazing. I like that.
Cool. Thank you for that reminder, Nita. I like this. This is cool. I'm gonna use that. Yeah. Zoe, what did you experience?
I like what she said about it's like spinning wool or something. But yeah, just like I definitely saw that lock, but also especially what you said about sending it out there and kind of the maze and everything. And because I liked what you said earlier about the solar plexus and being able to send like a larger version out there to find, you know, what you need to come to and stuff. And no, just thank you so much.
Oh, yay. Thank you guys. And that's actually a Merkaba technique too, is when you build your Merkaba, you build it around you and then you send them in different directions, but you keep the one around you, but you send other ones to kind of make your track for you to go along. There was something, okay, yeah. So we've done the mudra. Oh, you guys want to know a receiving mudra? Put your hands together and then open like this. I did this on Instagram the other day. I don't know if you guys saw. I was doing it with the moon, and then you can just point it like up at the sky, at the universe, whatever, or you can like point it at the moon, and you like were receiving energy from the moon. Another one is to receive. You touch your pinky and ring fingers to your thumb, and then hold your other ones out. And to manifest, this is called the golden triangle. You touch your first and middle fingers and hold it, and you try to hold your thing in mind for like 17 seconds or however long. Just try to hold it. This is great. You know, this is fun things to do, like if you're looking for a parking spot, things like that kind of thing. It's fun to fact check that kind of stuff. Okay, so we're closing out. We're just going to do the end here, and then I'll ask you guys any questions you have after, but I want to make sure we get it to time for people who are watching later. So warm up your hands again, warm up your palm chakra again. And now, this time we have been dislodging stuff too from our auras. Like we've been weaving stuff in.
That came off my hands. Like
yeah, I'm feeling it all around me. So this is at the end where you will put this in when you do it yourself, because the sequence is align your energy chakras and then breathe into your outer space. Remove cords, strengthen your envelope, set your lock. That's the sequence. And it makes sense, and you can change it with whatever suits you. But this goes in right after you've cleared cords, okay? So, or if you give yourself self-Reiki, this is where you go. So now you've got your hands charged. Just do a quick sweep off, and imagine that you're sweeping off anything from inside your body that needs to go. Any little bits of tension, trauma, any wounds, any tiny little like fluid bugs or little tiny little tumors you've got going on anywhere in there, just send them away. And you're always going out. So go down your arms, down your front, down your back, down your legs, out your feet. And it's just going like fertilizer. You don't even have to worry about where it goes. Your guides will gobble it right up or take it somewhere or whatever. And then you've got your physical body. Do it about 4 inches out from your physical body. This is clearing out the inside of your aura. So just clear out the inside of your aura, a little bit out from you. Good, yes. And then imagine that you're doing the edges of your aura. So you're doing far away. The whole edge. You're clearing off the outside edge. And sometimes when I do this one, especially when I get to the bottom, I like to shake off my hands a little, like get the gunk off. Okay, and then center again in the center, and then just with your palms, redraw that light all the way around. Just centering, grounding, aligning with heaven, aligning with earth. Take it down to the ground till it's strong, secure, and you're nestled right here in earth who loves you. And you're here being a beacon. And life is good. And that's it. Thanks, you guys. Do you have any questions, comments, anything else you want to talk about before we sign off?
Could you repeat the sequence one more time for
Absolutely. Yes. It's first you clear your chakras. Well, wait, I'm sorry. First, you breathe in prana. You breathe in energy. So you activate whatever it is. You can activate your heart. You can activate your central line. But the idea is through every atom, you just breathe in divine energy. And so you supercharge yourself. And then you go through your chakras. So first it's prana, then chakras. Then let me think about this. Which is the next one? I have to go through the sequence in my mind. Then then clearing. Then you clear energies that shouldn't be there, or cords that shouldn't be there. And also your at the end of your chakras, you ground. You make sure you ground. When you do your root chakra, make sure you definitely ground in. But that's part of chakra work, so it's not really a separate thing. So anyways, then you clear any old stuck energy, clear any cords, and then you do your auric envelope. And then you think about what you want to manifest and set your combination lock. And then the very last thing you do in your private meditations is you ask your guides if they have any advice for you. Now that you're all clean and you can hear, say any advice. Sometimes they tell me something specific. Sometimes they're like, just chill out, And then, the combination lock, ask for your guides, and then become present in your body again. That's an important part at the end of meditation, to be like, oh, that's right, and I'm here, and okay, let's play, like I'm in the video game. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. This has been so lovely. Very, very grateful. Okay, you guys have a beautiful day. I guess that's all then. I will let you go. But thank you so much for doing this with me. I've had such a good time. Yes,
I have one question, and it's a
Sure.
bit of a random one. It doesn't have to do
Go for it.
this so much. But okay, so I keep seeing reoccurring numbers recently all the time. And it was like, at first it was like just a little bit, and I was kind of like, haha, that's funny. And then now it's like every day and every 10 minutes kind of thing.
Are you seeing any specific ones? Like
Just
which ones?
like,
All of them? Or?
I specifically see like 1111 a lot. But the other ones, just like 2244.
Yeah, well, if you want to look up the best resource I've found on that are if you Google or research whatever the number and then it's angel numbers. So you see 222. Just search 222 angel numbers. Doreen Virtue compiled a good list. And so what I think those numbers are they're reminding us it's a dream. That's what they're first doing. It's like, hey, don't forget you're in a dream. Yeah. Don't forget, like, this is not as real as you think. And especially ones are manifest, because one is like the number of creation. It's the first, it's the spear, it's manifest. And also I think 1111 is often from star guides, star family. Who's kind of like beaming it into you, be like, hey, just don't forget, we're right here, hello.
Definitely, yeah.
And then so from what I understand, 22 means everything's going to be all right. 333 means ascended masters. It also can mean you are on your way to being an ascended master, or it can mean they're watching over you. Probably all the above. 444 is angels. 555 is change. Change is coming. So buckle your seatbelt. 666 is manifestation. That's another thing about 66. You know how they say 666 is the devil?
Yeah.
Well, 6 is a spiral going in. And so when you think about what this physical world is, we're coming into matter. And what I think the devil truly is. Now, I have experienced an entity that was Lucifer. And actually, he was an angel, and he was like, we all drew straws. This is my job. Like, let's not forget what's actually going on here. He was not some, like, scary, nasty, horrible thing. But when people talk about a devil, what I think it actually really is getting hypnotized and thinking that the physical is all there is. Because in order for people to do the most horrible things they do, they have to get hypnotized and stuck in the physical world. So that's why, like, manifestation spiraling into physical out of balance can be seen as the devil. That's my opinion about it.
Okay.
But on itself, it means beautiful things. Manifestation is great. But if you get hypnotized by the manifestation and go crazy about it, then it can be really bad, So that's the 6. 7 is completion. Like the 7th day, the 7th chakra, all 7s is like completion. Cool. 8 is, of course, infinity, And then 9 is time to activate yourself, because it's time for you to go to work as like a spiritual light bearer.
Okay.
So,
That's really cool
yeah.
because like one of the things I see is like 9/11 all the time.
Yeah, and also 911. You know,
Mhm.
911 might mean that, you know, if I were you, what I'm getting is when you see 911, I would do the affirmation, I'm here to help with my presence.
Mhm.
Because it seems almost like the world is asking you to soothe it in some way when you see 911.
Interesting.
Yeah, I haven't seen that before. So if I'm right, let me know later and tell me what happened.
Okay.
And again,
I'll
it's
listen
just
if it
energy.
happens. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just energy. So again, don't ever think you have to give your life force. It's never that. It's just your presence. It's
Yeah.
just your focus. You know, think about how good it feels to have someone really focused right on you and care about you. They don't have to give you anything. In fact, you know, they did this study with people on the phone. People didn't know each other. They did it for like 10 months or some long amount of time, and they would pair them up each week, and you would have like an hour-long phone conversation. One person would talk, one person would listen. It was always the same. Same person would talk, same person would listen. And at the end, they did a study to see who got the most benefit. And you know, it was the listener.
Interesting.
And the person who was
Okay.
speaking, though, felt like they had been loved.
Mm-hmm.
So the energy of being listened to and the energy of being
Yeah.
loved are very, very sister.
Very similar. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I've been getting like a lot recently. It's just this idea of like just being present. And by doing that, somehow I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, bearing witness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
No, thank you so much for talking about that.
I do have a question, Karis, about our aura. Now, I've been sort of dimming my light or toning it down, so to speak, quite a lot lately. And it comes from the thought that we're in communication with ETs and other dimensions. And I was under the impression that beings from other dimensions are attracted to really bright light and can zap that light, so to speak. So I was kind of holding or containing my aura so that I don't shine as bright.
I understand that. There are a couple things I have to say about that. One of them is that things are attracted to a resonance field. For instance, that's why you can see an old debilitated house that has a lot of ghosts in it. It's not that the ghosts were in that house, it's that the house is old and debilitated. And it's like how mold can grow in a room where air doesn't circulate. And so that's why, you know, you could take, I was just looking at a house the other day. I was like, well, it's kind of haunted, but all it needs is a good smudge and some loud music and it'll be good. You know, so also when a lot of times when we're children and when we're young, which is why it's so great that you're taking this now while your little girl's so small, we're not taught how to shield. So that is true. We do glimmer, but you know, a light can be what real, you know what I actually think honestly happens. And I'm so glad you asked this because I've been doing so much work with shadowy beings for the past couple of years and I haven't really talked about it very much because I've been doing it so much. I haven't gotten to synthesize it and like speak it very much. But really what happens is these entities, these dark entities that can zap, they've lost their connection. They've forgotten. It's like crazy PTSD. Like imagine someone who's in the battlefield of Vietnam for 5 years straight, what they would be like afterward. And in the dark and away from the light and away from love and apart from everything that's ever nourished them, and then also thinking they deserve it because these entities, like, they're like that for a reason. Usually they had crazy traumas that happened to them, horrible things. You know, no one's just like, I'm going to be evil today. You know, it's like these crazy things. And so what happens is they see this glimmering light and the energy isn't usually like, oh, I'm going to get it. It's, oh, what is it? What is that? Let me see. What is it? Oh my gosh. And they come and look. And the thing is, especially if they have sharp edges, the simple act of them coming to look at you can be startling, especially if as a child they came a lot and you weren't taught how to deal. So then it might be, and also think about all of us have done this at some point in our lives where you go boo and scare someone and they go and you see you all laugh because it gives you a little bit of energy, and it can be really harmless, but on a grander scale that's how they take energy, is by the startle, by the jolt. And so especially if they think that's the only way they can survive, that they can live, then of course they're going to keep doing that, and that's why they scare people. But if, you know, the things I always say to negative entities now, I used to be such a light warrior. I used to go to these epic battles and all this crazy stuff. But now my thing, because I'm strong, because my thing is always like, no, I'm as big as the universe. If anything ever feels big to me, I just get bigger. When a challenge comes, just get bigger. Just get bigger than it. Just grow, 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 grow. Make yourself into the cosmic sphere and then look at it and be like, yes, can I help you? You know? And so what I say now is I'm like, I'm going to love you so hard. If you want to hang out with me, I'm going to find all the cool things about you, and I'm going to find all the cool things you can do, and I'm just going to love you so hard that you're just going to like kind of turn into a light being. So if you want that to happen, then hang out and let's get to know each other and all as well. And if you don't want that to happen, you should probably go. And I would say in like the 3 years I've been doing this, things have probably chosen to leave maybe 3 times in all that time. So generally, if you attract something dark, remember, you are more powerful than it. You're the one with the physical body. It doesn't have a body. That alone takes so much focus and so much strength to even hold together the molecules for a physical body. And all of us take it completely for granted because we're all doing it. But that means that you're so much more powerful than this thing that does not have the capacity to do that. And so again, just when something comes to you, even if it looks big and scary, just be like, can I help you? What do you need? You know, what do you need? And if I can help you, then I will. But if you're just here to cause havoc and you don't have anything cool to share with me, then you're not welcome. But generally, I found that almost always, like sometimes I'll be like in a weird part of town or something, and I'll just feel something that's just like gruff and grumpy. I'm just like, whatever, you're just gruff and grumpy. Like you would just treat a gruff and grumpy old uncle who's just like, and you're like, okay, you know, that's all you have to do. And then it can't. And a way to dispel fear always is to laugh at it. To laugh. That's something that Harry Potter got absolutely right.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah.
It's just be like, oh, you're so scary. You know, even when something does scare me now, especially because I kind of like that scary stuff now because I'm super good with the light, and so the dark kind of fascinates me sometimes. And I'm like, oh yeah. So even when something really does give me a fright, my response then, because I also get really flirtatious with non-physical entities just because I find that's like a fun way to diffuse energy. And so my response is always like, ooh, you got me. Ooh, you told, that was awesome. Like how'd you do that? Show me. Like, you know, and then because as soon as it's like people, you know, you can talk to the most negative, gnarly person in the world, but if you come at them with purity and clear eyes, then they will come into their lucidity around you.
Yeah.
It's like that with every being all over the universe. It doesn't matter. So if you just drop the bullshit and you're just like, yeah, what's up? What? You can't take anything from me. No. What do you want? Then they'll be like, okay. And they'll just tell you. You know, the thing is that nobody says that to anybody. Like no one just says that because for so long we've been caught up in all the stories of battling and losing things and gaining things and winning things and you know, all that kind of stuff. So try it and let me know how it goes the next time one shows up, because I'm sure where is it that you live? What grid do you live on? You live in California, right? Do you live in a city?
Yes.
Okay, so there's probably all kinds of stuff flying around. So you'll things will come and you'll get to try this out. But when in doubt, call in a bunch of angels to protect you. And when in doubt, just get bigger. Get bigger than it. Yeah. Awesome. Anything else? Oh, okay, great. So centering. Wow, I just felt this pulse from my heart chakra to you guys. Oh, this has been so fun. Thank you so much. And those of you taking this live, you'll get the video whenever it gets sent up, so you can watch it as much as you want. And those of you taking it on video already, clearly you have that. So yeah, just sending all the gratitude that we are even able to have these conversations, that we live in a world that we have the freedom and the time and the energy and the knowledge and wisdom to be able to do this. And setting the intention that from this day forward, you reap the benefits of this work that we've done, and that it becomes easier and easier over time, that you be guided by the brightest and best of all that there is to guide us, and that we all work together to make a world that keeps getting better and more healed and more beautiful and more luxurious and more luscious and just yummy and delicious every day. Thank you guys so much. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you. I hope you have a lovely day.
Thank you. You too. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.